And welcome to the BBPN show. My name is MizzWilliamz and I will be your guest host. We're going to have a great show for you, very informative, exciting, and fun. We're going to have dancers, singers, celebrities, celebrities, rappers, producers, artists, entrepreneurs, and much, much more. So just sit back and enjoy the show. Scott, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you, thank you. It's a pleasure to be on the BBPN show.
I read on your bio that you've been doing poetry since childhood.
Mm-hmm.
When did you know that you wanted to start doing music?
It's interesting how it all got started. When I was in like second grade, that's when I really started getting into poetry. I guess maybe one of my classes it was introduced to us, and just the whole concept of like saying how you feel or getting out there how you feel and putting it, making words rhyme, and saying it in a clever way, like that just caught me from an early age. And then like in third grade, I would like write little love poems to a girl I was interested in and stuff like that.
Wow.
And then
At an early age.
That was way before I was anything smooth. But
so you sang on stage when you were like about 8 years old?
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, when I was in second grade, actually, my school, we did a play it was a musical called it's a knockoff of Prince and the Pauper. It's called Prince and the Penguin.
Okay.
And I was the penguin, thugging it out.
Oh, and I wish I had some footage of that.
No, you don't. No, but so that's the first time I performed. Actually, also when I was young, my mom got us into like modeling and acting. I was actually in a couple commercials when I was young too. Like,
any commercials that we'd be aware of?
I was in a Rugrats commercial.
Okay. Very nice.
What else was I? I was in like a Waterloo Village commercial and a Jimmy Neutron one. Like, I don't know.
Where are you from? Are you from New Jersey?
Yeah. Well, I was born in Florida. I was actually born in a car in Hollywood, Florida.
Okay, interesting story.
Yeah. I guess I was just eager to get out there and take on the world. So, I was born right in the hospital.
Okay.
Gave my mom a hard time. I still give her a hard time because like I'm the one child. She doesn't know what time I was born. She was like, Scott, I wasn't looking at the
exactly.
the
and who's
clock
looking
in
at
the
the
car,
time when you're going through all of that. So you are a New Jersey.
Yeah.
You are a New Jersey person now.
I moved to Newark when I was just 1 year old. We only lived in Miami for a little bit, and we moved right to Newark, and then I lived in Newark and Irvington for a bit.
So you're basically Jersey grown.
Definitely,
right?
definitely.
Jersey strong, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Jersey.
Who inspired you? I mean, at such an early age.
It's fun. My inspirations are funny just because, my musical inspirations, because there's nothing like, I don't know who I am or how I am musically, but DMX and like Ice Cube were the ones that like really got me into hip hop initially. It's just the passion, when you hear DMX. Before I knew anything that he was talking about. Where did you see them?
You saw them on television or on what show?
Just on the radio.
Okay.
Yeah, just on the radio.
And you like that?
Yeah, it was just like the whole emotion of it, and it was like, I mean, we've all been through things, and like as a child, like I went through things, and I don't know, just like getting at how you feel and so emotionally like that was.
These are totally two different types of rapper. Mm-hmm. How do you describe your style? I mean, you were singer / rapper. Mm-hmm. What is your style? Can you give us a little bit right now? Just can I hear a little bit of something?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that okay? I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
Just give me a little something from one of your your CDs.
Okay. Well, this is since we're talking about Jersey. This one, it goes, Jersey, I got it, I'm honest, promise, I pinky swear. You gotta love it, just sound the trumpets, the king is here. That's premature, but the crown's what I'm feeding for. So I fake it till I make it and say it till I portray it the greatest. Oh yeah, high hopes, got a fat chance, I know. They compare it to walking on a tightrope with my eyes closed. I probably won't get too far, and if I do, I'll probably fall. Does that dissuade me? Not at all. Scotty Paul been working on his balance while sharpening up all his talents, elevating his status while paying attention to malice. Cause once you reach that palace, they try to poison your chalice, but just fill it up. I don't really give up. My mind is on bigger trucks, stacking them figures up and changing the whole game. Cause all of them rappers suck. Well, I guess all is exaggerated. Not even mad that you hate it. Soon y'all can say that I made it. Cause when it's all said and done, I just treat it like already won.
Very nice.
When it's all said and done. Yeah, and that's
very nice. And you wrote this? This is all original stuff?
Yeah, I write everything that
do you ever do other people's songs on stage?
I that's something like relatively new. I started doing covers. Covers and remixes. It's definitely engaging to people at your shows when they already know something, especially like to the new fans, okay. or you know, like people that are first time hearing you. Nothing catches them like something that they're already familiar with.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember when I saw you on stage. You were at the Stone Pony. Mm-hmm. You had a big audience. I mean, the girls were screaming when you came on. I was like, wow. You know, you played a lot of venues. Where have you played?
Really, like the Stone Pony was the only place really in Central Jersey that I've done. But I've done shows in Garwood at this place called Crossroads, which was cool. That's like the closest to here. But everything else has been like either like in the William Patterson area where I went to school, or like closer to my hometown, which is in Sussex County. But yeah, I also did a show in Harlem. I did like venture out a little bit, but for the most part, I kept it right there because that's where the fan base mostly is. But it's cool having people that are willing to make the trip and also just having
it seemed like they came from afar
away.
It's cool. And so I'd like to know how did you build up your fan base? How did you do this? I mean, how do you promote yourself? Website? What do you do?
Well, the most important thing when you're promoting something is the product, you know, that you're trying to get out there. So first I had to have something that was worth, you know, people listening to. And then as far as like getting this stuff out there, I mean, the whole promotion like process to me is kind of annoying. It's like, especially at first, it's like, and especially in music, you know, when you're doing any business where there's a lot of competition or where there's just a lot in the market, it's very difficult for you to get out there. I mean, especially since it's so easy to put out music nowadays. Like people have to swim through so much garbage before they find gold. You know, so like trying to like get yourself out there and convince them that you're that gold.
Okay, so what is your style?
Okay, so with my, it's very difficult for me to say like this is what I do because I do so much. And like if you go to one of my shows, like you went to the show at the Stone Pony where I have a live band.
He has a live band. Did you hear that?
Oh yeah. You know, and it adds.
That's something unique. You haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah, it like definitely adds a different element, and I definitely just love the feel of it, and a lot of the people that come out to my shows,
and that's a lot of work. I mean, working with a band, you're doing your thing.
It's definitely different than just working by yourself. Having 4 instrumentalists, you know, as opposed to just having a DJ, it definitely brings like a more like organic hip hop sound. And then also it leaves room to have, you know, add in like a rock feel and a jazz feel on different songs.
Yeah, I thought you had a different type of feel with some rock in there at one point in time.
Definitely.
And you also had, did you have background singers?
Well, I got you know, lucky that my keyboard player and my my guitarist, they're also very talented vocalists. They're better than me when it comes to it, but that's for another day. But yeah, actually there's been some changes, some different pieces to the band, but my brother plays in the band now. He actually, did you hear the Wonder Woman song that we made about our mom? Okay, you gotta look that up. He sings on that, Wonder Woman, YouTube, Wonder Woman, Scott St. Paul. And
what's your brother's name?
Sam.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys look alike?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting, but Yeah, he plays in my band now. He's very talented. And we also have Leanna on the keyboard, and she very nice voice.
I want to change gears for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna play a little game.
Yeah, all right.
On the BBPN show with Scott Paul, rapper / musician. When I say a person's name, you just give me a one word to describe them. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You
Okay.
ready? You ready?
I don't know.
Okay. Andre 3000.
Incredible. I don't know.
Okay. Lauryn Hill.
Revolutionary.
Yeah. Ryan Leslie. Any similarities, you think?
I mean, between the artists?
Between you and
Ryan
Ryan
Leslie?
No.
I wish. Vocally, he's I mean, cause
one word to describe him, though. You get ready. I know you like him.
He's another one. He's so good. I don't know. I'm gonna what I say for Andre.
You can't use the word genius for Ryan Leslie.
I'm gonna say genius.
Okay.
I'm gonna say genius for
All
sure.
right. And T-Pain.
He's another one where I put in that revolutionary category. I would say game changer.
Okay. Yes. And Drake.
Opportunistic.
Oh. Okay. Now, with that being said,
Yeah.
I saw an article on a website. It was called BroBible.com, where singer Drake says in 2012, and I quote, "I'm the first person to successfully rap and sing." What do you feel about that?
I mean, that's silly. I mean, quotes are funny.
I mean, after all the things, all the names I just
like,
threw out there, I mean, come on.
Quotes are funny because they can easily be misconstrued or taken out of context, but the words are there. If he really believes that, like, that's silly. You know, again, like Lauryn Hill, who, I mean, just an
her
incredible
album,
talent.
she was with the Fugees,
yeah,
and she
and that was her whole album. Was her rapping and singing, like. Come on, man! Are you serious? I mean, you know, like when I say revolution, I mean that's why she was one of the first to do that. I mean, and since then, I think when you think of Drake, when he first came out, like I kind of saw him as like a combination of a Kanye West and Lil Wayne.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Where he was kind of a derivative of them. Like without a Kanye West, there would be no Drake.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
And first of all, let me not take away from Drake. I think Drake is dope. Like I think Drake's, you know, definitely very good at what he does. But without Kanye West, there would be no Drake. I mean, I guess Drake is a big Kanye fan himself. He said himself that Kanye, you know what I'm saying, he's a big fan and it was one of his influences.
Is Drake an influence on you at all? I mean, being honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone in the game, especially all the really talented ones, they do influence me.
Okay.
And you know, I'm not ashamed to say that. That's why for him to say something like that, it's just it kind of because Kanye West, like college dropout, late registration, that's all he was doing. I mean, I've been working this grave. Like, you know what I mean? That's all Kanye singing on his first album.
Wow. Okay, I want to read a quote from you.
Oh boy.
Okay. Now, I saw this on your website, and it stopped me for a moment, and I had to think about it. Okay. So the quote says, and I guess this is your tagline, and my question to you is, who came up with this? Okay. Or do you want to say it? You want to tell me?
You got it. You tell it.
And this is from Scott Paul. Just say you knew me when.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
I'm thinking confidence.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny, like when you bring it like that, just because where it started, like how it started, it was from like the complete opposite standpoint. It was that, I mean, as far as like who came up with it, I had just heard it so much. Like I had so many people that told me like I'm gonna be able to say, you know, I knew you when.
Just when I knew you when.
Yeah, you know, so like that's where I got it from. It was never like a throw it in your face, like you'll say you knew me when, but like at the same time, like you have to take that attitude. And like anybody that wants to be successful doing anything, if you have big dreams, you have to have that attitude. Like when somebody says something negative about you or anything goes wrong, you have to have in the mind like one day you'll say you knew me when. Like one day you're gonna think of this moment and be like, man, I messed up.
And no matter what you do, you're gonna have haters. But you're gonna have haters in this game. You're gonna have a lot of people that love you. It's either love or hate.
That's the way it works.
That's
the way it works. I mean, especially in music, where so many people trying to do it. So for that in itself, it's so much hate is brewed just because people hate on other success, you know. And then you also add in the fact that music is just 100% subjective.
So what makes you unique? Why would people want to come to your show? To my show? Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I can tell you things that you would see in me that you also see in other artists, but you have to. It's one of the things you have to say it to believe it. But what makes me different from other artists is that I'm just different from other artists. You know, I bring a lot of enthusiasm and creativity when I perform, and other people do that too. But you'll have to see me to know what's special about it.
A lot of energy.
And the same thing when I sing and rap. Like there are other people that sing and rap too, but it's the way I do it, or the stories that I tell, how I tell it from my perspective. That's what makes it so unique. I'm honest in my music, and when I write my music, for the good and the bad, I'm very honest. And when I perform, I just I love to do it.
After high school, did you go to college?
Yeah. I actually just graduated from William Patterson University, Willie P.
All right, very good.
I just finished up there. I majored in business marketing and minored in music management.
Okay, and so that basically helps you with marketing and promoting yourself, and also with being able to get these gigs. I would say
definitely.
How to go out and talk to people.
Yeah.
That makes a difference, right?
I think, see, school's a funny thing. School's a funny thing because, honestly, I feel like there's so much out there. Okay. There's so many tools to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me to say, like, this was the right approach, it was the right approach for me, and it worked for me. But,
it may not work for everyone.
Yeah.
And I get that.
I definitely think school is a great option for a lot of people. But like, if you know what you want to do and you know the tools to get it, then just go get it.
I like that. And
like in school, there were classes that I took which definitely prepared me to do certain things and helped me learn certain things. Like especially with my music management minor, that's with my music management minor. Like I kept every book. And everything like that. When it comes to pretty much everything else, I free sold everything or is collecting that somewhere. But yeah, with the business marketing courses, there were a few courses that I definitely took a lot from. But so much of it is just trial and error.
So I wanted to ask you because I also read in your bio that your mom was a single mom.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit? I wanted to know, if you signed a contract today, $1 million contract, what would you do? What would you like to give back to
definitely.
Mom? Because moms are important. She's in your life.
My mom has always been from day one when I first started doing music, and when I told her like that's what I wanted to do, like she was one I was like, go get it. You know what I'm saying? Like she and to this day, like she's my #1 supporter, and like there's so many people that gave up on their dreams because their parents, or their mother or the father told them
didn't
that like
believe in them.
Yeah. So for that alone, I cherish my mom so much. And then the other side of it is just like she went through so much, and I didn't realize it until very late because she never showed it. Like growing up, my mom, she'd been hospitalized a few times for depression and these things. And like my brother's a year and some change older than I am. Like we never, we didn't know what was going on with her because she always smiled, like whatever was going on, she never showed that. So she's just such a beautiful person, and I just...
Is there any one thing that if you signed a contract today, would you want to take her on vacation?
Honestly,
would you want to get her a house? What would you do?
It would just be, if I got $1 million contract, I would see how much I would need to make for my album. I would see how much I make to get those things right, and then I'd give my mom a blank check because she deserves it all, and I'll never be able to give back for everything that she's done for me. So it's hard for me to say like I would do this and I would do that because she deserves it all, and I would do, you know, whatever. The thing is, she doesn't need much to be happy. Like, that's just the way she is. She grew up in a rough situation. Like, she's from Haiti, you know, and she doesn't need much, but whatever she wants or needs, like, she's got it.
But I mean, you're very close to your mom.
Yes, my home.
I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Now, Scott, you've opened for many celebrities. Can you tell me about that?
It's cool. I've been able to open for J. Cole, Fabulous, TKA. You might be familiar with. They're hot in the 90s. Modest Yahoo, opened up for him at the Stone Pony this past summer. Dirty Heads, it's another band.
How did you get that? Like, how did you get these gigs?
Putting yourself out there. I mean, the J. Cole Fabulous one, they're actually performing at my school, and I bumped into the president of the club that was putting the event on, and they weren't looking for opening acts or anything like that. But I bumped into her. I was like, yeah, like, if you guys are looking for anything, like, you know, just take my information, or, you know. And then I took hers just so she, like, I was getting in contact, you know.
How did you get to open for Fabulous?
Yeah, well, no, that was the same show. They were
okay.
Actually, yeah, and then, yeah, it was cool. Like, I just emailed her some songs, and then she, like, showed it to the committee, and then they, like, really liked it, so they made some time for me to perform. But yeah, then from that, some other doors have opened. There's also been some other artists that I was supposed to open up for, but things happened. Like, I was supposed to open up for Kid Cudi. But then, like, there was some issue with this management and stuff, and there's, like, a whole lot of politics that go into stuff that's just annoying. Like, there's a lot behind the scenes stuff when it comes to music that people don't know about. But
when you go on stage, you have no fear. Do you still, you know, from the first time you went on, do you ever have the jitters? Is it ever nervousness before?
Well, I mean, like, the big shows, yeah. I mean, you really only get nervous when well, with me, I only get really nervous when there's uncertainty, you know. But, like, if I know what I'm doing, if I know my sound is gonna be correct, if I know all the other pieces to what I'm doing are correct, like, I'm really not nervous. Okay. But yeah, like the J. Cole Fab show, I was sick that whole day. I was like, yeah, that was tough. But like, I'll have some shows where I'll definitely be a little more nervous for, but I don't know. Confidence is key. I think I'm good at what I do, and I have a lot of people that think I'm good at what I do. So
now I want to ask some questions that things I want to know about the music industry. One, what does it mean to be an indie artist? Is there a difference between an indie artist and an unsigned artist, or are they the same thing?
They can be the same thing. I mean, an unsigned artist is, you know, obviously just an artist that's unsigned, whether that be to a major label or to any label whatsoever. Okay. And an indie artist, you know, it stands for independent artist, is an artist that does all this stuff by himself. And I'm in both categories right now. Okay. Where, you know, I'm not signed to anybody. That's what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking to get signed, and when it comes to the independent part of it, that's the hustle. You know, that's just everything besides the music.
And speaking of hustling, you are good at marketing and promoting. I've gone through all of your stuff. When I was asking you to be on the show, I mean, you just sent me all kinds of stuff. I mean, I was reading, and you did a good job. From your bio, from the beginning, you were talking about your style. Also, you have here your own line.
Yeah, well, this is my logo. I have a friend of mine made this logo for me, and it's just a SP for Scott Paul, and
very nice.
Actually, the whole, like, meaning behind the double lines in it is, I have this whole thing with Gemini, the duality of the Gemini. I feel like my style. I don't know, kind of plays into my style, but yeah, so I have wristbands. I just got these new wristbands. With these, you get discounted prices to select shows. I have beanies. Keep it warm in the summer. Get a beanie.
This is nice.
My snapbacks. I have these snaps.
But this is how you do it. You know, you start out And this is what's called marketing and promoting, and this is important, and that's why I bring it up.
Definitely. Well, I think
stuff to sell after the show.
Yeah.
You got your CDs.
Yeah.
You also have
T-shirts. I got T-shirts.
Very nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important for one the people that support you. You know, a lot of times they'll want something, but you know, so it's good to be able to give them something physical.
Yeah, and then to remind them. You know,
exactly.
I went to the Scott Paul show.
Exactly.
And you know, continuously reminding them. But this is marketing and promoting, and I'd like to know. I mean, do you have a team? Do you have a manager? Are you doing this all by yourself? Family? What's going on?
It's funny because
how'd you get all this together?
People think it's so much bigger than it really is. You know, I do so much by myself. Like people assume that I have a team, but I do it
yourself.
You know, I really do. Like again, I had a friend of mine. He made the logo. But as far as like ordering all this stuff, you know, putting it all together, you know, that's all stuff that I did by myself. I have a few people that are very essential to where I'm at right now and why I'm able to do what I do. A good friend of mine, DJ Ridiculous, he showed me a lot of the ropes when it comes to like designing certain like graphic design or and when it comes to the music production, just sound and stuff like that. So I'm able to do a lot of that on my own, which is very important.
And getting back to and talking about the business side, which is something that I don't generally talk about, and it's very important. When it comes to, let's say you're getting ready to do a show, you know, sit down and you do the contract and you go over it all yourself?
Yeah. Well, I again, going to William Patterson, I got, you know, I was blessed with some really good professors who really broke down, you know, everything from copyright to you know, any contractual issues that you need to, you know, look out for when it comes to publishing, when it comes to this and that, you know, to trademark, and just like really everything you have to worry about, and especially when it comes to shows, like when, you know, when you start talking about money, when the money should be coming in, when you talk about writers, like what should be supplied for you,
and you need to know all this stuff,
definitely,
so that you don't get taken, right?
Exactly, because I've run into a couple situations where like the venues messed up and try to play me out like I'm the bad guy, and then like, no, you're wrong, you know. And like I'm not difficult to work with, like, at all. I'm very easygoing, and like, especially if a problem can be overcome, I don't like fighting.
Right.
If a problem can be overcome, let's just overcome it. You know what I'm saying? So it's very like, it's hard to get me, like, you know, bashing you or anything like that. But when you try to come at me and you know, my professionalism and what I know, like that's where I have to put some people in a place, and I had to do that with a couple of venues, because you have to know, it's very essential for you to know your stuff. But you have to
stand up for yourself. You have to read over the paperwork.
That's the
when
thing.
you're first getting started and you don't have management, but regardless of whether you do, it is still important that you still be involved.
Definitely.
In everything that you're doing, right?
Yeah, because
so you know where your money's going.
Well, that's the thing, because even if you have the biggest team in the world, you got to know where your money is being divided. Right. You know, you need to know.
Because while you're on stage, somebody's
exactly. But yeah, I mean, you brought up a great point that you have to stand up for yourself. It's so easy to get taken in this business, but to be able to stand up for yourself, you got to know what you're talking about. So definitely, you know, read up, do whatever you have to do to know everything, you know, as much as you can.
Okay, excellent. How can people contact you to book you for shows? You know, even just to
get some merch,
to get a CD.
ScottPaulMusic.com. ScottPaulMusic.com. That's the website. You can.
Are you on Facebook and Twitter?
Yeah. Actually, you can get links to everything right through my right through ScottPaulMusic.com. But at Twitter, I'm just _ScottPaul. Facebook is /ScottMPaul. So it gets a little confused. Just go to the website. You get links to everything. But
Scott, what do you have coming up now?
I'm working on the album right now. I keep getting booked, and I'm like trying to slow down with the booking, because I just want to finish the album, and after that I want to book crazy. But I actually have an album. It's called Knew Me When. I'm hoping to drop in April.
But and because I had so many questions for you, so I'm just trying to get them all in there. But I did, and this is important to me. I wanted to know: have you been booked, or would you ever do like a Sweet 16? Do you do stuff like that?
I'll do. I mean, wherever there's people that will enjoy the music, you know, I'm there. I don't care what the
Because I
event
remember
is. Yeah.
when my, when my daughter was 16, she was having her sweet 16. So I looked for an artist and I booked him.
Really? That's
yeah,
awesome.
and he did his show, and the kids went crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's exciting.
Yeah.
You see this stuff on television, but this is stuff that we can do right here in our own town.
Definitely.
I mean, you're an artist. You've been on stage several times. You give an excellent show. Why not, support in your own town?
And I think that's very important.
In your own state, I should
say. I mean, especially like in my town where I live, like I get a lot of love, and it's really cool. Actually, I just played a show at the high school a couple weeks ago. Good. And it was for Pass It Along. It's for an organization that does a lot of like outreach around the community and a lot of community service. Really, really wonderful organization. But it's like they'd asked some kids, like, if we were to have a show here, like, who'd you want? And like, the overwhelming majority was like, people wanted to see me. So so that was really cool. And so we had a show. It was the day before Martin Luther King died, so it was on a Sunday, same time as the Ravens Patriots game. So there was a lot of reasons not to show up, but we had a really good turnout. And
I think I did see that you had a flyer on your website.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that.
And the flyers I make myself.
And you make them yourself.
The more you can do yourself, the better.
Exactly. I mean, with technology as it is today. And a lot of this stuff you learn in school, but a lot of it you can just learn, on your own.
I took audio classes in college. Forget everything. Everything I know I learned through my friend DJ Ridiculous. Like, when it comes to that, and when it comes to making the flyers and stuff, the soft stuff I learned through him. Really, anything you want to know about most things you can find on YouTube. Just like, if you have any questions in Photoshop, YouTube it. Anything about Logic, Pro Tools, YouTube it. Everything is out there. It's up to you. If you want to know something, go get it.
But the most important thing is, if you have a talent and you want other people to know about it, you're a music artist, you're a rapper, you're a singer, you're an artist, get yourself out there.
Definitely, promotion is the number one thing. I think from the jump, what you need to know as as a person that's doing this or whatever your trade may be. Whether it's something that you do it because you love it, or you're pursuing it because you're not happy with anything else, or you wouldn't be happy doing anything else. Everybody would want to be a singer. Everybody would want to do this, but the probability of you making it is so slim. You have to decide whether it's worth that.
Okay.
And if it is worth that,
so you need a plan B.
I wouldn't even. The thing is, if I heard a quote that Will Smith, he said that Plan B is just a distraction from Plan A. Okay. And I agree with that 100%. I never made a backup plan. I know what I want to do,
but
and I'm going for it.
But you knew what you wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what advice would you give to someone? Okay, hear me. What advice do you give to someone who wants to go into music, be a rapper, but they do not have a support network? I
mean, again, the most defining moment and decision that you have to make is that are you willing to give it all to this? Are you doing this because first of all you know that you're good enough, but two, you'll give everything to it.
That's a good point. Are you? And how does someone know when they're good enough? Because we do have a lot of people out here who look in the mirror and they're singing or rapping and they're feeling themselves. Yeah.
I mean, it's just being real and being real is important, but being real to yourself is the most important thing. I guess with some people it's just because I've watched the American Idol auditions, and I guess some people really don't know that they're bad.
They don't. They can't hear it. Yeah. They may be tone deaf, and they really think that they're going to be stars.
But I think if you listen to music, if you try to listen to it objectively and think, listen to music and think this is what make this person good, and you listen to yourself, you can hear it. You can hear what's great and what's not great, or what has potential.
I guess so. My question is, when did you start getting feedback? Was it both? Was it positive and negative, or was it all positive? And that's when you knew.
Well, that's where it gets funny, because even to this day I still get I'll still get negative feedback. You know, like it's the majority is like the overwhelming majority. Like people like what I do. You know, and I get a lot of love. But they're definitely like there'll always be people that
doesn't like
yeah, there'll always be, and I never expect for everybody. There are people, you know, who didn't like Mike's music or Whitney Houston's music, or you know your favorite artists, whoever they are. There are people who think they're trash. Like that's the way music works. Music's subjective.
Yeah.
So I mean, really, when I was young, ever since I was young and I got it started, I guess you know I always had a stage presence, and I always had you know certain things about my performance or my voice that people took to. Mm-hmm. So I got encouragement early on, and
so we only have a couple minutes left. Mm-hmm. So once again, tell us where we can see you and what's the upcoming next CD again?
Well, ScottPaulMusic.com, that's where you can go to get in contact with me. You'll find my Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all that. You'll find all those links on the website. Mm-hmm. Look out for the album. It's dropping hopefully April, you know, maybe May. It'll be called New Me When. You can grab a lot of free music on my website. Just go on the music tab. You can pick up the merch on the store tab. It's all up there. And you know, sign up on the mailing list. I'm not annoying about it. I'll send out like one thing a month just to keep you updated. But I'm on there, man. I like to stay connected. So definitely hit me up, leave feedback.
All right, and thank you. I'm so
much for
glad that I finally got you on the BBPN show today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott Paul.
Thank you, MizzWilliamz, BBPN, Scott Paul.